Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to show you how to do a step-by-step, really simple budget before you start using lots of budget planners that are already out there. So for those of you that have been following me for a while, lots of you will know that I use this one. This is a Happy Planner budget edition, and it is undated, and there are lots of other budget planners out there as well, such as the Budget Mom, and there is lots of printables on Etsy that are downloadable planners, and those are really great. I love the system that I use, but before I really started going into this, I used to use just a plain notebook with dot grid or lined pages, and I used to just write it all out in a simple notebook, and that is how I used to budget every week. I'll see if I can find some pictures from how I used to do it before, and I'll throw those onto Instagram, so if you don't follow me already, go and check that out, and the link will be below. So today I'm going to leave this to one side, and I'm going to show you how to set up a really simple budget so that hopefully you can manage your finances and really see where your money is going, where you can cut back, and where you can start saving money towards those goals or other financial reasons, for example, debt, payments to pay off a loan on a car or something like that. So before we get started, I just want to say welcome. If you're new here, then please like this video and click that subscribe button below. So let's move this out of the way. I'm just going to put that at the back. Okay, so this is what I've just started with, and the first thing we're going to do is, the first thing you really need to do is work out what your pay is. This needs to be after tax. So I know some of you have to take your own tax out, so you might want to put that up here somewhere, but we don't have to. So what is your pay? And for this video we're going to say that my pay is 1,700, and that is for the month. So it's not paid every 2 weeks or every other Friday, it is for the whole month. Okay, so now we really need to work out what those fixed expenses are. So these are things that you have to pay. You don't really get any sort of, you can get exemptions, but really you want to be paying them. So those include things like a mortgage or rent. It includes things like if you have a phone bill, if you have a car payment, because lots of us sometimes have those. I'm going to put things on there like council tax, gas and electric, and I'm going to put work. So sometimes you have things where you don't want to pay them but you really have to. So for example, in our country, in the UK, if you want to be a nurse, then you have to register to be a nurse and you have to pay a fee. It's the same if you want to work in education, whether it's a teacher or working with young children, you normally have to have a DBS and you have to pay for that. You do pay for it normally every 3 years, but most people will pay a small amount every year and split it up. So I'm going to put one as a work. Here is where you would also put your debt. So if you have any debt, you'd need to list out those credit cards or those loans, and the minimum payments on those as well. But for this video, I'm going to say that at the minute, the only debt we have is this car payment. Other than that, there is no more debt. So we're going to do a rough figure, and we're going to say rent and mortgage is 500, phone is 30, car payment is 100, council tax is 120, we'll say gas and electric is 60, and work commitments I pay £10. Okay, and these are rough figures. Some of you will obviously pay more in your mortgage, some will have a higher phone. I would really look at this phone bill though. If you're paying a lot for your mobile phone, then I would look at lowering that, because you can ring them and they will lower it. Council tax varies. We all have to pay our tax, but it varies on different local authorities. And this gas and electric, I've based it on just 2 people, but obviously if you're a family of 4, it would be higher. So just work out what yours is, and obviously don't forget to add that debt. So this comes out at a total of 820, and I'm just going to add a note here. So this is where you would add your debt in. You need to make sure it comes under your fixed expenses. Okay, and now we're going to look at some variable expenses. So these are things where if you didn't really want them, you could lose them. So those include things like subscriptions to Prime, Netflix, Disney Plus, PlayStation Network, what else, Now TV, all of those things. Even Sky can be really expensive, and we've not had it because we can't have it where we live, but we wouldn't anyway because it is so expensive for what it is, and we don't actually watch TV. So the first things I'm going to put in are the things that change every month, but you have to have them, and those include food, fuel, and for this video I'm going to say pets. Now we don't have any, but I am going to put it in just for an example on this one for something slightly different. So for food for the month, so this is for the month, I'm going to say it's 200. For fuel, I'm going to say 50. Now this might be more for you. I don't really personally pay a lot for fuel, but it might be more for you. So again, just check that, and the same with food. And then pets, I'm just going to say 15. I'm just going to assume we've got one small pet. And again, you just add that up, and the total is 265. So now we're going to go into those other variable expenses. These are the ones that you don't have to have, but we all do. And I'm going to say we definitely have Netflix. A lot of people do. The other big one is Prime. And we also going to assume that we pay for ink, an ink service for printing at home. So I'm just going to do rough figures for these, because again, even with Netflix, you can pay a really small amount or upgrade and you pay more depending on what added features you want. So I'm going to say Netflix is more, Prime is 7, and the ink we just pay £4 at the minute for. Okay, I might just add lines here to make it easier. And then this comes to a total of £23. Yeah. Okay. So once you've done that, okay, you then need to work out these 3 amounts, and you need to take it away from how much you get paid. So you need to have these and take away your fixed expenses and your variable expenses. So we'll go ahead and do that now. So we've got 1,700, and we're going to take away 820. We're going to take away 265, and we're going to take away 23. So £592 we are left with at the end. Okay, now obviously here I haven't added any debt on, so this figure might be less. Obviously if you earn less, the amount at the end will be less. If you have debt and you have to pay those minimum payments, your end total will be less. And obviously here you might think £200 a month for food. No, we do less than that. Or you might think fuel, we don't have a car, so we don't need to pay a car. Or so those are just the sort of things that you do need to take into account. But again, some of these I would really look at now. So this part is where you need to look. If you've got a lot of subscriptions, you need to start cutting them away. And you might even challenge yourself. Like, I normally have Kindle Unlimited because I do like to read. But at the minute, I'm on a 6-month challenge not to have it. And I'm currently going through all my books in my library. And I'm not doing too bad, actually. So I'm on a 6-month challenge not to go with Kindle Unlimited. And it is working. So these I would look at cutting if you've got anything like this. And again, that phone bill and other things. Okay, so now we've done that. Let's move this. Put that to one side for a second. Okay, so this is how much you've got left over. Okay. So these sorts of things here, your variables, these three that you will always put into, but the amount every month might change, are something called cash envelopes. If I can spell. Yeah, that's right. So these are the things that most people will pull out and have in a cash envelope, and I do it. So in here I keep my cash envelopes, and I actually have one for fuel here and car maintenance here. So this one is the one that I dip into a lot, and that one is my fuel cash envelope. But sometimes you might want to keep those just in your bank. Like the food, we just keep the money in the bank because when we go food shopping, we spend it on the card. We don't use cash. So we don't bother taking that money out. So let's move on for a second. Zoom in a little bit. So now we've got this left over, and we need to go. So now we're going to do something called sinking funds. These are things that don't happen every month, but you know eventually they're going to come round, and they are an expense. So it's things like birthdays, Christmas, Easter, car maintenance when your car needs new tyres or a service, things like that, or taxing. You might also have an emergency fund that you're putting money into so that if something happens and you've got to pay quickly, you've got some money there ready. So for our sinking funds, I would advise you really think carefully how many you need. Lots of people have many sinking funds and some only have a few. I find a few is best to start with, and then if you find you need more, you can always add to them. So we're going to say we're going to have Christmas because many people have that one. We're going to have birthdays. We're going to have car maintenance because a lot of people do that one. We'll go ahead and add beauty. Maybe you want to get your nails done. And again, that emergency fund, because I feel like that one is key. So now we just need to work out how much we're going to put in each of these. So emergency is going to be 50 because that one is important. We're going to say 20 in beauty. We'll do 15 for car maintenance. Christmas will always get 20, and so will birthdays. And that leaves a total of 125, I believe. But I might just check it just to make sure. Yeah. Okay, so once you've done that, then you need to work out, you need to take away your £592 and take off the 125 from your sinking funds. So let's just do that quickly. So we've got £592, we're going to minus 125, and that leaves us with £467 left over. So now you've done that and you have funded all of your bills, you have funded all of your variable expenses for the month, and you've put something towards sinking funds. And remember, this doesn't have to be this amount. You might want to change this. You might want to say, you know what, I can't afford beauty this month, I can't get my nails done, cut it out. I can't afford to put that much in my emergency fund maybe. Always try and put something, but you could always do less one month if you really have to. Then you can work out what to do with this money. So the first thing you need to work out is two things. I'm going to do two. You need to work out how much spending money you're going to have, so your allowance for the month. So I always try and do it so you have so much as spending money every week, and you are going to need something. Life happens and you need to spend money sometimes. So work out how much you think you could averagely spend every week on yourself and give yourself an amount for the month. So for this one, I am going to say I'm going to spend £50 a week roughly, and I'm going to give myself £200. So that's going to leave me now with 267. Once you've done that, now you need to think what your goal is. Is your goal paying off your debt? If it is, you need to look at which one has the smallest amount or the lowest interest as well, and use this money here to pay off one of your credit cards or one of your debts until you've knocked it out. Once you've done that, you then work on the next debt. If you have no debt, then you need to think, okay, what is my next goal? Do I need to save and buy my own house in cash? Do I want to make some house adjustments and make some repairs or renovate anything like the garden or something? And you could start saving towards that. You might want to use this money to start paying off that car loan so that it's paid off sooner. You may want to start putting a bit more maybe into that emergency fund and then saving the rest towards a goal. But that is what you need to do. Otherwise, you will find that this money that you have left over, this 267 or whatever it is, will just disappear. You'll have flitted it away without even realising. So it is important that you know what you're doing with that money. Once you know what you're doing with that money, then you've got a budget. Because all of this together is your budget. You know your fixed expenses are being paid. Your most important variable ones are sorted. Those flexible variable expenses are being funded. You know you've already put something into savings and those important things coming up in the future. You've given yourself some spending money for the month, and whatever's left over, you are tackling that goal. It could be debt. It could be saving for something important to you, buying a house or doing renovations. It's entirely up to you. And obviously some of you, this budget will change for you depending on your income and your fixed and variable expenses. But remember, this is one that you can try and cut down on. I used to have about 8, 9 subscriptions, and slowly I've cut them all out and I don't miss them anymore. So thank you for watching this budget, and I hope it has been helpful. And for this video, I am going to be doing a giveaway. So I'm going to be giving away a classic sized Happy Planner notebook, and it's got some really nice dividers in there, and it's got dot grid and all sorts, so you can literally draw boxes, you can just write it out really simply like I did, but there is a lot of different opportunities to start a really simple budget. And once you've done this, I promise you, you will find switching to a much bigger system like this a lot easier to manage, because you'll know what you're doing a lot more. So to enter this giveaway, all you need to do is like this video and comment below, and subscribe to my channel as well. This giveaway is going to be running for about 2 weeks, so I'm probably going to announce the winner at the end of August, because I have got other things, so I will announce the winner, but it will be at the end of August. And I'll also put a note on my Instagram when I plan to announce the winner, just to give people extra time as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you found it really helpful. Thank you. Bye.